Hey, Brian here. And in case you missed the first part of this series in Google Tag Manager, you can check out the overview. It's called the Google Tag Manager Overview and Benefits video on my channel. If you're looking only to learn about tags and specifically about how to install Universal Analytics with Google Tag Manager, this is a great starting point for that. Um, the quick rehash is that Google Tag Manager consolidates all of your tags into one tag. So you just install Google Tag Manager, and then it pulls in all of these crazy scripts that you have. The examples I've given here are certainly the social tracking pixels and event tracking things like Mixpanel or maybe A/B testing like VWO. A lot of A/B testing tools don't fit in the Tag Manager, so that's a problem. You'll have to deal with that a different way. But most things can fire in here. And here's a good example of a lot of those things that can, or at least at one time did. I don't believe the Optimizely pixel can anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what tags are, why are these tags, why are they not these other things. And the quickest way to do this is really to talk about Universal Analytics, which is Google Analytics. So most of you will probably have experience with Google Analytics as a tool, and you probably know that there needs to be a script installed on every single page. That's really easy to do with Google Tag Manager. We can walk through it right now. What we want to do is when we're starting into Google Tag Manager, you might get taken to the overview. You want to go to the tag section. Without a tag, Google will not, in this example, pull anything, and nothing will get tracked. So we want to create our first tag. The simplest way to do it is we'll just name this Universal Analytics on my loud Bluetooth keyboard. We're going to do these two sections both. One is tag configuration and one is triggering, and I'll walk you through what those mean. So tag configuration really just gives you kind of like this basic bare bones framework for creating a configuration. A configuration really is just like, when does this tag fire? So the old school marketer, been marketing for a long time, you know about conversion tracking, where you only want a conversion pixel to fire on one page. It's kind of like an email pixel where you want to know if somebody opens it. So you put the email pixel into the email. When that gets pulled from the server, boom, it fired. So in this case with Universal Analytics, we really just want this on every page. So we're going to select this default template, and it's already set to page view. You can certainly check a bunch of other things as well. And then we can click this setting if we want to. I think we're okay with that. There are cases where you want to override settings with this tag, but we're not going to go through those right now. And then we can just leave everything the same. I think we're good. We don't have to worry about any of these advanced settings. Once again, this is just a simple configuration of when you want this to fire. It's Universal Analytics all the time. The party never stops. So let's go to triggering. So triggering is a lot like trigger that I talked about before, all those other settings. What you can do is just click the default, which is what you want with any kind of analytics tracking platform. If you're implementing something like a CRM, maybe like a HubSpot or a Pardot, if you're implementing something like Mixpanel, which is event tracking, you might want to track pages, or you might want to track clicks on all links on all pages. You're going to click all pages. And if you have to set this up, it's very easy to do. So I'll leave this up for some settings, but when it uses this regular expression, we have a dot here and an asterisk. So anything on the right side of that asterisk is included, basically meaning everything after the .com. So what we've done is we've chosen our trigger, which is all pages. We've set up our configuration to fire on every page type. We've named it Universal Analytics, and we're just going to save it. Oh yeah, okay, so we actually have to add in our tracking ID here. So whoops. So I'm not going to add in the tracking ID because I think, oh, here we go. We added it in here. So you can manually add this in, or you can use this kind of like language. The braces, the double braces with UAID in the middle. That is something that Tag Manager will interpret. And you can save this. We're going to say like temp UA tag. Let's see if this saves. We're good to go. And we're just going to save this. So yay. Now what we've done is we've created this tag. we should be good to go with it being live. The one thing you always want to do is you want to preview. This isn't live unless you submit it or you publish it. So what we'll do is we'll preview it first. We'll see what's happening. So the preview tool is very cool. You can see it gives you this big banner that's really annoying. When you go to a page on your site where GTM is implemented, you'll have this cool little feature down here. This is like the I don't know how to call it, the console, I guess you could say. And you can see all the things that fired. So what we did was we created this universal analytics tag, and it fired one time. That means that we're in really good shape. So at this point, we've created a tag. We've added a trigger to a tag, which says when it's fired. And that tag worked. So at this point, I would submit. And then, of course, as I always like to do, I would fill out a little bit of a card, like what we did and what we added. So like added universal analytics and self-explanatory. You don't have to actually spell everything right. So then once you click publish, it'll be live on your site. This console will go away as soon as you disable preview mode. And yeah, now you're tracking people with Google Analytics, and you can set up even more tags with all of the tools that you're using, probably social pixels and PPC pixels. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be going over what triggers are, some examples of variables, and some other GTM use cases over the next couple of days. So let me know if you have any questions.